There has been a very big amount of controversies within Doctor Who, varying in size to the sides of the BBC and with the Doctor Who fans themselves. Because in this video I will be showing the bad stuff which the BBC have done and some really messed up stuff which Doctor Who fans have done. And yes, this is a top 5 video. Now number 3, number 2 and number 1 is to me are the big ones, are just massive controversies to me. Really just showed a bad side. I think number 3, not a lot of people will probably know, but if you've been a fan of this channel for a while, especially in 2015, you will know what I'm referring to. So this is my list of the top 5 Doctor Who controversies. Yes, we all knew that Class wouldn't really be a massive hit, a massive success. And is anyone talking about Class now? No. Nobody's really talking about Class anymore. Not a lot came out of it. I think with extended media and whatnot, only 3 books came out dedicated to Class. And yeah, it didn't... I think the problem is that people didn't really want it. Not to be hugely negative on Class, I think it could have been an idea if the execution was correct. But yeah, it definitely comes down to the problem that no one really asked for it or really wanted it. And it didn't really help that during this time, missing episodes were a little bit too high in people's minds. And people say, oh, it's a missing episode announcement here that the BBC are teasing. So it really put a strike on the actual announcement of Class, and everyone saying, what the hell is this? Where is missing episodes? Because things on Twitter are happening and whatnot, and it was completely throwing people off in the wrong direction. And people talking to me like Dalek's master plan is found and all that, and I didn't believe it at the time. I thought that's full of crap. And I'm a little bit surprised some people ate that up and actually believed that was happening. Now, what can I say about Class? Well, I never watched it. I never said to myself, I want to sit down and watch this series. I didn't even think about trying the first episode. I said, I'm not bothering. It's something that doesn't look like my cup of tea. It isn't something I asked for. And people say, if you don't like something, don't watch it. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't watch it, and due to the reviews and opinions people said about it, I'm glad I didn't watch it. Now, some people might be in the minority and got enjoyment out of Class. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, everyone knows that this was not a success because it was go past like the first series, but it was cancelled. It didn't do well enough. The execution wasn't there. It didn't deliver. And I think not a lot of people had very high expectations for it anyway. And I think to the part of missing episodes coming into the equation, that really did put a bad start for Class. I think if missing episodes weren't high on people's mind during that time, then the announcement wouldn't frustrate people when the BBC actually announced Class. Due to missing episodes being high, I think that's what damaged Class the most. A really terrible start. And yeah, have I ever talked about Class before on this channel? No, because as I said, I never watched it and I never had any interest of watching it. If you enjoyed it, then that's absolutely great, but a lot of people said it didn't work. Now, another thing I don't really talk about on this channel is the new series. I'm a classic Doctor Who fan. You can tell by all the classic Doctor Who books I have behind me, the Big Finish audios. Most of them are all classic Big Finish audios, classic DVDs. You know, this is a classic Doctor Who channel, and I don't think, well, very rarely in like 1 or 2 videos I have discussed about the new series, but that's like 2013 and whatnot, when I did like the top 10 or top 5 Ninth Doctor stories. I've never dived into the new series because I am a classic Doctor Who fan. But yeah, people get the impression that I hate the new series, and that's completely incorrect. If we're talking about Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, Series 4, you know, I enjoy them. But I did come to a time when the Matt Smith era came, I faded away from Doctor Who for a bit. I was not a fan of the Matt Smith era, Series 5, 6 and 7. I sort of lost interest. But when the 50th anniversary came back, I, pushed myself back into Doctor Who again. But this controversy is mainly about the situation on the new series right now and how it's been for Peter Capaldi. Now, I think Peter Capaldi had a very Sixth Doctor run. And what I mean by that is that his Doctor wasn't delivered to the fullest. Because in Series 8, he was teased, it was insinuated that this would be a really dark Doctor. We're going to see some more dark storytelling, like Into Darkness, for example. Am I a Good Man? It really did tease that he's going to have a darker side to him. That did happen in Peter Capaldi's run, but it was very inconsistent. It was very inconsistent and not executed very well at all. And that is what I think has been the major problem with the new series, with Stephen Moffat's run. It's the execution. His arcs have been very convoluted, and his era has completely split the crowd. People enjoy it, people don't like it. No one can deny this, because it's fact. Doctor Who is in a diversified situation, and obviously that's evidence that something's wrong and innovation needs to be put in. Now, thankfully, Stephen Moffat's era is gone. It's ended. If people liked Twice Upon a Time, again, that's very mixed from the stuff I've heard. But now that Chris Chibnall's stepping in, I am actually very optimistic now, because he's doing some big changes, and I think that is seriously needed. Because if Doctor Who is still going on the route, just like the Stephen Moffat era, I think the show would be in a really bad situation. But considering Chris Chibnall is doing some innovation, is really good. I'm happy. And I knew for a fact, I was very strong on this opinion that the next Doctor would be a female Doctor. And I was just accepting it, and I was happy about it, and I was just thinking through my head who would play the role. Now, Jodie Whittaker, I haven't seen Broadchurch or anything she's been in. She wouldn't be my pick, but I would probably pick someone like Siobhan Redmond personally, even though she's been in Big Finish. I'll show you who I mean. This is who I was thinking of to play the Doctor, or someone with her talents, because when I look at Siobhan Redmond, I say, yeah, she has traits to play the Doctor very well. So I can't really say anything about Jodie Whittaker because I've never watched anything she's been in, so I'm just going to stay optimistic and she'll do a good job at the role. But my worry, again, this is Chris Chibnall now, all I hope is execution. He executes it well. Because that has been the downfall of the new series. It's always been the execution. Just to put the whole series together. Series 9, put the whole thing together, and even hell bent on its own can really make people angry. Series 9 was probably the worst series for Peter Capaldi. Now, granted that Series 10 was an improvement over Series 9, there were still major problems, and it's always been harkening back to execution. Stephen Moffat seems to not be good at following that word. So if the changes work for Chris Chibnall and the execution delivers, then I think Doctor Who can get out of this diversified situation. Just get out of this, because I really want it to get out of it. Everyone wants to. So I'm going to be optimistic and say, yeah, he's gonna do well. And I think Chris Chibnall's got a good record. I personally really enjoy 42. Very simple story, but yet it works very well. Executed very well. But again, you can say the same thing with Stephen Moffat and The Empty Child and the Doctor Dancers. So all we have to do is wait and see. Chris Chibnall, all we can say is, we hope you nail it. You know that this will come up, what I referenced earlier. If you've watched me in 2015, you'll know what I'm on about. It was the DVD release of the Underwater Menace. This really did expose the BBC. This did. And I made a video ranting. I didn't even review the thing, I all ranted. And not the story, but the actual state this DVD was released in. I have never seen work as lackadaisical as this. And the fact people paid money for this should not have gone out in the state that it was in. Now, yeah, I said 4 and 5, they didn't annoy me. Because Class, I never watched it, really care about. In the new series, I'm feeling optimistic that it can get out of the diversified situation that it's in. But 3, 2, and 1 is really the bad ones, in my opinion. Because this work is atrocious. I have never seen work as bad as this before. I just cannot put in my head how this got out. So yeah, with Galaxy 4 Episode 3 and the Underwater Menace Episode 2 being found in 2011, people were saying, yeah, we want to get DVD releases and whatnot. And what happened to Galaxy 4 was put in the Aztec Special Edition, and people said, what's going to happen with the Underwater Menace Episode 2? And people were saying, DVD release, maybe re-release of Lost in Time, something like that. But yeah, they were talking about animating the Underwater Menace, and that's good. Animate Episode 1 and 4, and put in Episode 2 in this. They seriously faffed around with this release. And from the looks of it, due to the state it was released in, they didn't really want to make a DVD of this. The reason why they probably didn't animate it, because it wouldn't make a lot of money. Compared to something like Power of the Daleks, that would sell very well, because it's a very popular story. And I think, personally, Evil of the Daleks will come up quite shortly. But yeah, they announced that it'd be animated, and then they said then the DVD was cancelled. And then they revived the DVD saying, yeah, we're going to do it. And then changes are going to be made, that the animation would be telesnaps. It was delayed again. Then it eventually got to its release. They seriously faffed around with this. As I said, I've never seen work as lazy as this before. This animated reconstruction is the worst thing I have ever watched. The worst thing that has ever been made. First thing, with the introduction of Episode 1, Episode 4, and the outro, it's just a still image. The famous Doctor Who intro is a still image.
I have heard.
Are you fucking serious? You could have very easily just put the actual intro in that section. When actually watching the reconstruction again, I feel I can make Windows Live Movie Maker in a single day. In fact, if I was on an animation course at uni, for example, and this is the dog shit that I did, then fucking fail. Telesnaps are so inconsistent with the audio. You can't put in your mind what the hell is going on. Just don't correspond to each other. It's so nonsensical. It's so difficult to watch. It's painful. It's onerous. This is just so difficult to watch. And how the reconstruction works, it's terrible. Now we have a shark here. That image was, or telesnap was, put in too early. And now we come into some dialogue of characters, but it's still showing this goddamn shark. It's still on screen. No, this is a serious question. How the flying fuck did this actually get out? If I was head of this, I would have thought it was a joke and that the person who made it was trying to be funny. I would throw this right back at you and say, what the actual fuck? BBC, you were wrong. Began out like a state like this. If I was validating it, as I said, I would think you were joking. Thankfully, it had special features in it because it did If it didn't, then oh my, it really would show. I think the BBC really needed to be shouted at because of this. I think I was maybe not the only one, but I think I was the only biggest channel to actually talk about this piece of trash. And I wish someone more bigger than me actually brought this up to make it more public. Because it was seriously a piece of shit, which seriously needed a bite back at the BBC. Even though my review and that rant video did very well, it needed more attention. Because back then I was only a channel with 1,000 subscribers. I don't know what you were doing, BBC. You should not have faffed around this. If they felt so unsure about the DVD release, if you were unsure about it, then you should have just put it in like another special edition, like the Mind Robber, for example. What they did with Galaxy 4 in the Aztecs. They should have done something like that if they weren't confident of releasing it as a DVD. And let me tell you this, the Crusade DVD, it's not going to happen. People want it to happen, it won't. They will not animate it with real animation. It won't happen. It won't. And people are saying, oh, the Crusade, maybe the animation's being halted because they actually have the actual episodes. That's where bullshit speculation comes into play. It's not going to happen. This one just fuels me with rage because you can tell I'm getting really ranty in this part. It shows so much incompetence of the BBC and to the people who worked on this release and the person who agreed to get this out. I don't know who to hate more. The person who just validated it and said, yeah, it's all good to go, release the flipping thing, or the person who actually made it. All of them. I can blame all of them. Alright, we're finished with this now. We're finished. Yeah, that's the Underwater Menace. So we've done a controversy which involved the BBC. Now we're actually going into the Doctor Who fans themselves and how toxic they can be. And this one really does show a bad side. And whoever was a part of this, then number one, you're not a Doctor Who fan at all, and you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Because in this day of society now, no one can accept an opinion if it's different to yours, and they just claim you with all this crap saying you're sexist and whatnot. Yes, what I'm on about is what happened on Twitter with Peter Davison. Now, what he said was absolutely fine. He was just unsure about the 13th Doctor being a female. And then all these people just come in. I never witnessed this with my own eyes and what people said and whatnot. I only just heard it like a couple of days after that Peter Davison left Twitter because all the toxic comments and tweets that he got. But yeah, things like sexist and whatnot were just coming in. That's so stupid. You're so closed-minded. The fact that actual Doctor Who fans themselves attack Peter Davison like that is just so beyond me. It's an opinion. This is what I think about the female Doctor. If you're for or against, that's absolutely fine. That's what our discussion is about. But there has been a bad side on both sides, actually, with people for and against. With against, they're actually saying they want to burn down the BBC and that they're attacking Jodie Whittaker. No, that's wrong. No. It's not good at all. And then people who are for the female Doctor and attacking people just say they're just a little bit unhappy about the 13th Doctor being a female. Again, that's bad. You shouldn't. And you shouldn't shut them out and just put them under the rug. Now, I've got a lot of comments about what I actually think about the 13th Doctor. And I said this in number 4. I'm for a female Doctor. I'm actually happy because it needs innovation in the show. Again, Jodie Whittaker wasn't the one I had in my mind. It was someone like Siobhan Redmond or someone with her talents. But yeah, the fact that Peter Davison was thrown off Twitter, he decided to leave because of all those toxic comments, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. This really shows, and most fan bases are toxic. They just got fans that will just attack anyone that if their opinions are different to theirs, if their opinion can be seen as controversial. So it's so stupid. It's so bloody stupid. I have friends who are for and against, that they feel a little bit unhappy. Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. If you're for, it doesn't bother me. It's definitely a very bad controversy, because not only does this happen to other Doctor Who fans who just want to state their opinion, but it actually happens to a Doctor Who star who actually played one of the Doctors. And yeah, to anyone who was involved of attacking Peter Davison, you're not a Doctor Who fan at all. You should absolutely be ashamed of yourself. Well done. You attacked a Doctor Who star because his opinion was different to yours. Good job. This one definitely hurts the most. And a part of this actually involves me quite a bit here. Only a part of it. It's the Doctor Who missing episodes. One of my favourite discussions about Doctor Who. It's just fascinating to hear like the stuff on the missing episodes. And when actually someone gets recovered, it's one of the best days of all time. It's one of the best days ever. When Enemy and Web were announced in 2013, everyone was just buzzing to have two newly discovered Patrick Troughton episodes, with Enemy of the World being completed and The Web of Fear, but missing episode 3. So even though I love the topic of the missing episodes, a lot of people do, but on another side of the missing episodes, I wish it wasn't even a topic, because the fact of missing episodes is even a thing with Doctor Who is really, really sad. Now, it's good that now Doctor Who hasn't suffered badly as other shows, like The Avengers, for example, with Series 1 and 2, because there's so much missing, like Zedcars and whatnot. There's shows which have suffered more badly than Doctor Who, because we have all the audio reconstructions of the missing episodes. As with The Avengers, we don't. And the Big Finish actually had to do adaptations of these stories, because we don't have the audio. We don't have anything. With Doctor Who, we do. And I think we should be very lucky of what we got right now. Of the fact we even have audio. It's remarkable. But yeah, there's been a lot of crap. Everyone knows this. You know, the big one, which we all know about, is what happened with the 10th Planet episode 4, where someone claimed that he had it, but the film itself was completely blank. There was nothing on it. And it was just one big hoax, which was... It was believed to be 10th Planet episode 4, but it turned out it wasn't. And that really did annoy and upset a lot of people. To the people who were trying to track down the missing episode, to the people looking forward that 10th Planet episode 4 may be recovered. Because of course it's a very big episode. But yeah, there's so much controversies around it that made up hoaxes, rumours going nowhere, people just choking it up, just eating it up, saying yes, it's going to happen, it doesn't happen, everyone gets disappointed. You know, there's a lot of sad stuff that comes across this. One of them is episode 3 of The Web of Fear. And the story goes that Philip Morris had The Web of Fear episode 3, but a private collector was interested in it and purchased it and whatnot. And that he has the film print. Now, it's very sad considering that was Colonel Lethbridge Stewart's introduction into Doctor Who. Again, if it's episode 4, that would hurt even more, that would, because it's got that fantastic fighting scene, that sequence with the Colonel and the Yeti. It's just so well directed. To have episode 4 is brilliant, because it's really the icing on the cake with The Web of Fear. But the fact that anyone would just take one of the reels, one of the films of The Web of Fear, is disgusting. And why would you keep it in the first place? It's a personal satisfaction. This person would rather keep this film for himself rather than sharing it with everyone else, so everyone can be happy. I don't know why you would do that. And you can't play the film, because by looking at all the films in their condition, if you put that in a projector, the film would rip apart. It's unplayable. You can't. You just put the film in more danger. So you can't play it. Because like the dirt and whatnot, the state, it needs to be cleaned. The film print needs to be cleaned. It needs to go through the correct procedures for it to for the discussion to ever come up about getting it onto DVD and it to be released. So yeah, to the person who actually has episode 3 of The Web of Fear, I don't know why you're keeping it. Give it back. Because there's no point of having it. Unless it's a personal satisfaction. Which really does show like a very egotistical side. You shouldn't do that. It's just really, really selfish. No one really knows, besides the people who are trying to get it, the state of episode 3 of The Web of Fear. If Philip Morris already has it, if you're still trying to get it, I don't know. But yeah, to move on with missing episodes, with The Enemy of the World and The Web of Fear, there was a massive rumour that Marco Polo was a part of this find as well. And the fact that they did a really sly April Fool's joke once. It was April 2014, where they actually put an actual page of a Marco Polo special edition DVD release on there for a day. Actually, I'm not sure how long it was on there, but it was on the 1st of April as an April Fool's joke. That maybe they were just taking a slight joke to the references that everyone's saying Marco Polo's found. So even though they were trying to tease someone or just joking, I personally think they were joking. And just taking some funny nods at some rumours which are coming up. Another one quite recently, which happened last year, January 2017, people were saying the 2 William Hartnell episodes were recovered. And again, people just ate this up. Yeah, a person who apparently has very good sources to missing episode apparently brought this up. And this went absolutely nowhere. It just, other parts of it completely stopped. And there's been dead silence on that. The 2 William Hartnell episodes were recovered. It went nowhere. And the fact people make videos on this, excites people, and then it goes nowhere. And that's what a hoaxer wants at the end of the day, really, for it to get more attention and more people to be disappointed. I know it sucks, and I sort of did this one time, and I regret doing it. And this is where it comes to me getting involved in this situation very heavily. It was on the Savages episode 1 or episode 4, however you like to put it. Because on eBay, it was August 2016, there was an eBay listing of the Savages episode 1. He claimed he made a mistake, and it was episode 4 of the Savages. I wish I never made the video on the subject, because I just increased it. I did. I gave him what he wanted, more attention on the situation, and my video definitely had the highest views on that subject, absolutely. And it's terrible. It was. I shouldn't have done it. Just the situation at the time, it sort of affected me. So yeah, what I did when people were just figuring out that it was a fake, and how it was discovered to be a fake listing, is that the eBay user known as M-Poor, he stole images from a YouTube video of a film reel. And it wasn't the Savages at all. It was actually something called Doomwatch. Absolutely nothing associated with a Doctor Who. And then with some other images he stole from another YouTube video. This time it was a 60mm film print of someone showing their film print.
As I zoom out from the first frame of the video, you'll notice that the desk that my computer is on is actually the desk from the video, and over here you can see the wall that I projected the film on. And over here you can actually see the 16mm telerecording itself, and I don't know how well you can actually read this, but it says Doctor Who: The Waking Alley, which is not a lost episode. And I actually don't own any lost episodes, and I have been in contact with the Doctor Who restoration team in the past, asking them if they wanted any of the material that I had, and they weren't interested. Now, if I go back over to my computer and open up the auction, or I should say the fake auction, you can actually see that 3 of the images are actually screen grabs from my video. And I just wanted to say that that I had absolutely nothing to do with the eBay listing, and the guy just screen grabbed my images without my permission.
So yeah, he stole images, completely made a fake listing, and it upset a lot of people. I don't know why anyone would do such a terrible thing like this, and it really got on my nerves. I told everyone in the comments to report and flag it as fraudulent. I personally emailed him himself, and he actually did attack me. The person did. Yeah, this person started attacking me. He did. And really got aggressive that his listing was claimed as fraudulent and whatnot. But yeah, it was a really bad time. And again, I wish I never made the video. Yeah, I really did expose it and made it more well known, because that's exactly what the person wanted. But yeah, it went all good in the end because people flagged it as fraudulent. It's gone. Nothing quite recently has happened. Nothing like this has happened again, and it shouldn't. And if it does happen again, no one believe it. No one believe it. Because that's the best way to go now. Because we've always got to be careful with rumours. With missing episodes now, treating them like this, just wait until the BBC say something. And don't believe all the bullshit which comes anywhere else. None of it. Never make a YouTube video on it. Don't do any of that. Because that is what is gonna push it up and make it more well known. And that's what hoaxers want. They want it to spread. They want it to be more. They want attention. And the impact will be far greater because more people will be disappointed. And again, I don't know. I just don't get the logic of why people would do it. So that's why the missing episodes is at number 1. So yeah, this has been a very controversial, ranty, angry video. It has. It's been it's been an idea I've had in my head in a while, because no one's done a video like this on YouTube, and because it's very controversial. It is, you know, I'm talking about controversies within Doctor Who, where Doctor Who fans have done stuff really bad with the Peter Davison thing, but the BBC have done stuff really bad by releasing the Underwater Menace, the whole subject on the missing episodes, which involves people. So yeah, 5 and 4 are nothing too bad really, because I'm being very optimistic with number 4. And number 5, I didn't really bother about it and really care, but a lot of people did and got very upset about it. But yeah, a lot of people were in the same position with me with number 5, just didn't care about class. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one, which will actually be a collection update. The Showcase series returning. So yes, I will see you in that video, and of course, have a great one.